So just like we talked about in this particular session, what we've been talking about is how to use breaking news inside of your own classroom. I can relate probably most with Janice because before I came here, for those of you who don't know, I taught high schoolers for 7 years. I also taught middle school, after school program, and some elementary kids. And I know there were a bunch of mornings where I woke up and I would walk into the classroom. Class started at 8:45, it's 8:15, and I'm sitting at my desk going, okay, what am I gonna do today? One of the great things that we have here now available to you all, and I wanna really almost make this kind of like the grand opening for you for our Digital Resource Center here at the Center for News Literacy's website. Right now, the site is in sort of beta version, just meaning that we haven't linked it to our main website, but you can get to it by going to our site, which is centerfornewsliteracy.org/resources. So one of the things that we have available here, some of the things are some of our getting started. This is really sort of blurry. I didn't know it was that blurry. So we have some of our resources up here that will take you through what are our 14 lessons, because for all of you, you're probably using each of these lessons inside of your classroom, but sometimes you just need a little bit of a refresher. So you can find our 14 lessons here in our Getting Started page. We also have resources up here for course building, which gives you some of the basics, again, which goes back to what is this course all about? What are the objectives of this course? Those are up here at the top. And then towards the bottom, we have here a number of documents that you can use inside of your own classroom. So sometimes if for some of you, you're using this in a standalone course and you need like an outline of our syllabus, you can get that from this site. If you need some of the terms that we use in news literacy, you can get those. So this is a really great like sort of one-stop shop for you to just come to and find a lot of different resources that you can use in your own classroom, which kind of, cuts down on that whole, okay, so what am I going to do today? But one of the things that we're building up the most is our Fresh Examples page. And what our Fresh Examples page provides is a number of resources for you to use in your classroom, which are sort of like mini lesson plans that are based around what's going on in the news right now. So some of the things that we've created, as you can see here, we've created a few from the Boston bombing. We did a few with the Mandy Te'o story, Lance Armstrong story, so some of these are kind of going back. But some of the resources, like for instance for the Boston bombing story, is that as we were going through all of this material, because one of the things that was interesting about the Boston bombing was that it was almost like the first real crowdsourced, if you want to call it, attack. We had such a flood of information that came in from so many different sources. It's kind of like, how do I start to get this stuff together? So as the events were kind of rolling out, I was kind of sitting and pulling a lot of different things. And one of the things I did with that was I turned it into an interactive timeline here, which I put up on the site Prezi. One of the things I like about Prezi is that it makes it easy for us to integrate text, video, audio, all different kinds of media into a presentation platform that's very easy to use. You don't have to worry about, like in PowerPoint, that you have to connect your videos up and connect the audio up and all those types of things. We can just do that right inside of here in Prezi. So some of the things that we did, I'm going to try to move through it fast so you don't get sick. Okay, close that. So you'll see, like, we did it by day. So if I go out a little bit, so here's Monday, Tuesday, come on, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on. And for each day, we sort of broke it down into what were the main events that went on. So we've got the time of the explosions, we've got the first tweets that we used from going back and using a Twitter Analyzer tool that showed us what were some of the first tweets with the hashtag Boston Marathon with them. So we have that up here. If I get a little bit closer so you can see like that. We also have tweets from the Boston Globe, information from the New York Post that turned out to be false. Okay, more tweets and things like that. So you'll see, like, so we've integrated some video into this. I'll play it right from there. Yeah, so we've got the video from the first explosion, we've got video from further down the street, and so on. So this is another resource that you can just go on and just use. You can use it in the same way I'm using it here, just up here showing it to you. And one of the other nice things is that you can move around in the present. Okay, so if there's a particular part or particular piece of media that you want to use, you can just sort of move around to it, zoom into it, and use it. One of the other things that we did with this is that we also connected a couple of lessons to this. So not only do we want to be able to make the media accessible to you, we also want to be able to connect it and show you some of the connections that we make with the news literacy lessons. So kind of down the page here, we've created two particular lessons that go along with this timeline. So we've gone through what's the process of verification that you must go through when you're dealing with a lot of tweets, because that's where we got a lot of information from and connected to the Boston bombing. So we've got some of the tips that you can use. You can send your students to this site to sort of look up some of the tips that we have here. You can also use this as a basis for your own lesson. So there's that. And then we also have a few more interactives that are built in that we're hoping to do some more of. So this is an interactive source analysis where we took one of the first reports that came from the New York Post that turned out to be false, that said that there was 12 people dead, there were 50 injured, and there might be a suspect at one of the hospitals. So with this particular interactive, what you can do is you can roll over the sources that are in this story. So we have here, it says a federal law enforcement source confirmed blah, blah, blah. As you roll over it, you'll see it comes up in this box. If you click on it, it gives you a number of questions that you might need to ask yourself when evaluating this source, okay? So, and it does the same thing for each of them. So this is another way that you can you can send students to this. You can use this in your classroom if you have like a smart board or anything like that. You just go up to it, tap on it, take them through the questions, okay? So that's another resource we have there. One last one I'm going to show you here are the lesson plans that we have. For those of you that have gone through our Summer Institute, one of the things you know is that you go through our course in a week and a half, and then towards the end you start to build your own lesson plans based around the news literacy lesson topics that we've taught you. So some of them, I didn't want to go to the worksheets, I want to go to the plans. Here we go. So there are a number of lesson plans that are available here. Some of them are connected to more recent news stories, such as the Trayvon Martin shooting. And they're very media rich. They have video, some of them have audio pieces, and a lot of them have documentation that go along with them. And one of the most important things that we heard from our teachers was that we need an easy way to get access to this stuff. Sometimes it's not always as easy for me to, like when we give you the DVD, you take them into your classroom, it has all the PowerPoints, but sometimes it's not as easy to, again, link the videos, link all the other pieces of media. So we try to make it as easy as possible. We've taken it, we've hosted it on our own site, so that's kind of like my big job. I go through, I rip a lot of the videos, a lot of the articles that we'll have, I'll take them, format them so they're easy to print, all those kind of things. And tomorrow I'll be talking to you a little bit more about how to grab these resources for yourself. Because granted, we're really good at pulling things on big national stories. As you see, we pull a lot of stuff for our own course. It's very localized. But in some cases, you may say, well, this doesn't really help me out because I don't live in New York, okay? So hopefully tomorrow there'll be a couple of tips that I can give to you on how to start pulling these kind of resources. Not only just to build all these fancy little interactives, but also to just have the video to use inside of your own classrooms. Because as you all know, it's one of the best resources you can have. Just being able to show the video instead of just saying, oh, you remember that thing on the news last night? And the kids say, no, I didn't watch it last night. So to have it inside of your own classroom is a big thing. So I'll be showing you that tomorrow. And that's it.